All right, Instagram land. And I think we're live. Let's see, Facebook land is coming on board. It looks like we are live on Facebook and now Instagram. Good evening, everybody. Hold on one second. My list was on the floor. Joel's College of Swing Era Knowledge, 7 p.m. every night. Coming at you live from Spokane, Washington. Monday night, Jazz. Tuesday, Charleston. Wednesday, Lindy Hop and Jitterbug. Thursday evening, Swing Night here in Spokane. Friday, Shad. Saturdays, Balboa discussions. And Sundays, teacher and organizer chats. Happy food. All right. Let's get to it tonight. All right. So I posted in the Facebook message. So tonight I will be going into what I call Ann Mills' wisdom and some of her favorite steps. A few weeks ago, during I did a talk for Balboa history. Very good. Good day, mates. From Australia, checking in. Love it. Please check in on Facebook. Give me a little shout out. Making it real time this time. Very good. So I did a talk on Balboa history. Who did you talk to? So based on if you talked to Maxidor for Bart Bartolo, and then I included Ann Mills in there. And I mentioned this then, so I'm just teeing this up for tonight's talk. I got the great opportunity to meet Ann Mills back in the Balboa Rendezvous days when we would invite a lot of the original dancers to the event. And I got a chance to interview her and become pretty good friends with her, seeing them every year in April for the Rendezvous and then outside of that living in SoCal. And I went over to her house to do an interview just to get a feel for what was going on back in the day and some other things that Allison and I were working on back there. Right around 2007, we did an event called the Balboa Follower Festival, and we wanted to really showcase Ann as she was considered one of the best Balboa followers of the day, one of the original FIVE BAL-GALS. And she talks about that in I posted some links of her discussion that she did at the Balboa Follower Festival. And I bring this up because if you are able to donate $10+ tonight for tonight's chat, we will send you a code for 50% off the Balboa Follower Festival DVD, which is 2 DVDs, instructional, Ann's talk, some other footage and whatnot. So it's a great resource to have if you're a Balboa dancer. And if you enjoy this talk tonight, if it gives you some insight on history or some new footwork for your dancing, whether you're a leader or a follower, or just brings you a little bit of joy tonight, please consider donating a few dollars to help me continue to offer this for you. So without further ado, let's get to our topic of the evening, which is Balboa. And our focus tonight is Ann Mills' wisdom. So I had a chance to interview Ann, like I said. And she was so cute because her and John always looked impeccable. They always looked so nice whenever we saw them out at dances and out and about. And we went over to her house, and she looked as beautiful as ever, but she refused to be on camera. She did not want to be on camera. And so we did everything audio. We literally had the camera shoved in a pillow so she would be sure she wasn't on film. But I have all these audio clips of Ann speaking. And so I really wish I would have listened to everything before I started tonight and I put the topic down. Because again, I put Ann Mills' wisdom and some of her favorite footwork and styling and whatnot. And as I listened to how many tracks do I have? Like 57 different little tidbits. Okay. So basically all of this stuff, this is all of like Ann's quotes over here. And I kind of broke it down into her talking about teaching in the start of BAL, which I covered in the Balboa history lesson. So if you haven't seen that, it's from a few weeks ago. Check that out. She talks about her favorite dancers I think that's going to be a whole nother discussion, because that could be maybe more focused for leaders and the things that those leads did and those particular moves. Then, of course, her favorite steps. So I definitely want to listen to those tonight, since I said her favorite footwork and steps and things like that. And then there's a whole bunch of what I would call Ann wisdom, just her talking about dancing and following in general, that I want to share. And then the remaining clips are kind of her history, when she started, the favorite band she had, where would she would go to dance, things like that. And so Ann was born in 1922. She started dancing when she was 10 years old. 1932, she'd start going to dances with her brother and whatnot. She was with us until 2018. And again, we had many, many years of her presence at the Balboa Rendezvous. And I got to give thanks out to Rusty Frank. But she was definitely one of those that was like, come on, Ann, we're going to this. You need to go, even though she sometimes didn't want to go, didn't want to drive late at night. Rusty would make sure she got there. So I got to thank Rusty. So let's get to it. Let's listen to some Ann Mills wisdom. Actually, what I want to go through first is some of her favorite steps, things that she talked about in her favorite steps. So let's see if this sounds good.
But seriously, that's my signature in doing bal.
Well, she picks her leg with that.
You kick high and jig trot.
Okay, please do a shout out on Facebook if you were able to hear that okay. I just want to make sure I can maybe move the, let me turn the volume up again. I'm going to play that one more time.
But seriously, that's my signature in doing bal.
Well, she picks her leg with that.
You kick high and jig trot.
Okay, so she's talking about her signature move. Her signature move is kicking high. And she goes on to say this again a little bit later. Let me cue up the audio for you. All right, here we go.
You use your feet, and my whole difference in doing bal than anybody I know is that I kicked high. And other thing I would do.
Okay, so she was talking about she kicked high, and there was a couple things with regards to that. One of her favorite Balboa partners was a gentleman by the name of Harry Berlin, and I'm going to show you the kick around that she would do with Harry. And if you've seen old Balboa clips, I'm sure you've seen this. But Ann was known to kind of bring her heels up behind her during the kick around. And then we're going to get into some of the other signature moves that she would talk about here. So
Because when I come around, I'd swing my leg around up in the air. You do that? Good for you.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good, doesn't it?
Well,
You're feeling the
when
music.
it adds color to it.
That's the thing, is that you feel the music, don't you? And you accent with the
Actually, picking her legs, that's the prettiest thing there is.
okay, so she, hopefully you heard that, she does the come around, and she has her leg up, hearing the accent of the music. Another one of her signature steps is what she would call the stop.
To do a stop. Stop.
Yeah, she
You're out
was
and
a
stop.
drop her butt down.
No, not that one, not the active one. I mean the stop. The throw out and then instead of prop.
Well, yeah.
And I've had the, who was it? Every time I do that, remember the fellow when we went to Cabos?
Yeah.
Yeah, every time I did that, he'd start giggling. It just tickled me. I don't know why he giggled.
Okay, so she's talking about a stop, and at that point in the conversation, because we were, and you'll hear a gentleman in the background, that was her husband, John Mills, who, even though we were like, shh, we're here to interview Ann, he would interject all the time. It was really fun. And so she says, I bring up the stop, and you hear him in the background saying, like, when you dropped your butt down? She's like, no, John. So we weren't, because we were kind of going back and forth between Balboa and Lindy by the time we got to this discussion. And so when she was talking about this stop, I'm pretty sure she was talking about like a Lindy swing out, going out like 5, 6, 7, and kind of hitting a little pause or a little stop. And that was pretty indicative of like Ann would do it, Jewel would do it, Jean Veloz would do that. But also in the Balboa, going out, and she says, like, when he'd throw me out, I'd do a little stop or a little pause. And so, again, just giving the followers the luxury of kind of adding a little bit of flair to their movement. I got a few more clips of her specific moves. And then here is where she's talking about, again, kicking high, in particular Harry Berlin and the kick around.
There's another thing that we did. We would go around. It was a kind of a go around, but it was kicking high, nonstop.
So you just kick.
Just kick high,
And go
back
around.
behind yourself,
You just go around.
and go around with it.
Would you go
But I think she
around
does that in here.
just for an 8 count of music, or would you keep
Oh,
going around?
keep going around as long as he let it. We'd do it.
It'd be good time with the music, but you're just going around. Like Sailor Bob was always in time with music, but God, he's flying.
So he traveled with that,
Oh.
or he'd stay on the spot.
We can
Stay
run.
on the spot that I did with
He
him.
just starts out.
A go around, well, a go around with John was really great, but the this kick thing that I did with Harry was on the spot.
Okay, so she says the kick thing I did with Harry was on the spot. Again, that's the kick around. I'm going to show you that in a second. But she also talked about a thing called the go around with one of her favorite dancers, Mike Tremini, where he'd kind of be, I think of it as like a Dean's back pivot kind of thing, where she said he kind of pivoted, stop, and then go around the other way, and her and John would do that as well. And she talked about Bob and Sammy Sergeson doing a running Balboa. So what was neat about this talk is just kind of her sharing all the different things that were going on with the Balboa back in the day. And we'll get into some of that with the wisdom chats. But let's get to some of the footwork that she's talking about. Oh, one more, sorry. And then we'll get up and out of our chairs and move a little bit.
See, I don't like the kick. I don't like the
You
kick.
don't like the kick.
Okay, let me tee this up. She's talking about lollies. We were somehow we got on lolly kicks, and she's saying she doesn't like the kick. So again, followers and for leaders, again, don't think this is just for the followers. Any footwork that you ever learn as a leader or a follower, just flip the feet around. You can do it vice versa. I mean, obviously some things look better on the follower role than the leader role, but everybody should be able to be ambidextrous and do it on any foot at any time. So she's talking about lolly kicks, and she's saying how she doesn't like the kick. So check this out.
For a girl. For the fella's fine. So do it gently and don't get wild, Johnny.
1, 2, 3.
Instead of kicking, Natalie and I did try. We didn't think the girl hit was clumsy. So this is what we do. Just move your feet a tiny little bit.
So
Don't hit.
she's moving her feet in like a little triple step rhythm.
Too. That's right.
She's got a little rhythm.
That's right. There's a little extra step in there. And you don't kick.
Little extra step and don't kick.
And I did.
He did the kick,
Because we
I
decided to. It just, she didn't like it, I didn't like it, we just did it the other way.
I like that.
I think it's a lot more graceful.
Girl,
Okay, so she's talking about if you know the basic Balboa rhythm, we typically teach the same rhythm to both leads and followers. Kick, step, tap, step, kick, step, tap, step. It's not a hard rhythm. You can even like sit in your chair and go kick and tap and kick and tap. And her and Jewel didn't like the kicking. So even though the leaders would do that footwork, she would do smaller footwork and triple steps. So let's get up out of your office chair, out of your off your sofa. Now, this is kind of important. She did talk about footwear. Here we go. Let me find this real quick. Ba-ba-ba-da-bum. Now, in honor of Anne, okay, where is it? Thank you. Okay, we're going here and okay.
In Century City, they used to have a tea dance once a week, and John and I went like 4 o'clock. You danced on cement, but who cared? We wore the 4-inch heels, and we were young enough, nothing hurt.
well, there's no,
Okay, so she talked about wearing 4-inch heels, nothing hurt. Oh, where was the footwear? Oh, heels and Lindy. Here we go. Hold on. Footwear. There it is. So here's a little wisdom for everybody.
I would tell girls, stop wearing those ugly shoes.
Yes.
Find some, when you dance, boys wear pants, so their shoes aren't that obvious. But with girls, if you are wearing skirts and dresses, for God's sake, get rid of those ugly clodhopper shoes. These are comfortable, they're low. Get something that's female, accent the positive.
Okay, so I'm not in a skirt tonight, but in honor of Ann, I've got some footwear tonight. And then last thing.
Did you wear heels when you lindied?
Absolutely.
Even fast?
Even fast.
You probably never noticed my dancing shoes. But honestly, my dancing shoes are.
I've got them all in the closet in there. I can't bear to get rid of them. Do you know anybody that wears a size 7?
So now we know she wore a size 7. She talked about followers making sure your shoes, your feet, your legs look pretty. And so tonight, in honor of Ann and working on follower footwork, I'm wearing a particular shoe wear, no stress. All right, so let's talk about the kick high. So when Ann would do the kick around with Harry Berlin, she'd really get her feet kicking high on the kick around, really lifting all the way up. And you'll see her get that. Harry would just lead what we would call a single step bal, right? So we're just taking single steps right underneath us. But Ann would really bring her heels up high, okay? So that's the first thing. Let me get my microphone on here so you guys can hear me. So this is one of the kick high things. So if you're ever in a position where you're just doing a step in place, one thing is to obviously accent that and lift high off of the ground with a behind kick. The particular move is called a kick round with Harry Berlin, but she would also bring it up as accenting that. Now, for the followers on a throw out, so when you get the throw out, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, here's another opportunity at the 7. The two things I want to talk about here, again, is the kick high. Now, you want to be careful because you don't want the kick to overpower your hips and get way off balance. So you want to be solid, centered, and stable. And you can kick high, but still have a good posture and a good line in the other leg. Or you might have a little bit of a lift high, okay? And so that would be the throw-out position. And then again, I think she was talking about Lindy hop, but coming out and having a stop, right? So getting a throw-out and having more of a stop, then continuing that rotation and kicking high and through, or bringing the knee up and high and through. So that's as far as like the particular move called the kick around, and then that stop move she was talking about, or kicking on the throw out, or like the stop move on a throw out or a Lindy swing out. Are there any questions out there? Oh yes, it's nice to see the shoes that work the best. Yes, so Ann would always talk about her heels. Now, so my left leg is in all my talks has been the rolled up leg. Just you're like, why don't you? Some person's like, fix your pants. I'm like, it's on purpose. So the rolled up leg is left. So just you can kind of, as you're watching, kind of distinguish between my left and my right. Okay, so now we're going to talk about in the basic bal. And I'm going to turn this way, and we'll do a couple different angles. But again, as far as the kick high goes, so Ann, this was a couple weeks ago when talking about the basics of bal. She's like, Balboa is easy, Joel. You either go 1, 2 kick step or 1, 2, 3 kick. There's 2 basics. That's it. Anybody can learn it. Now, I think it's interesting that she would say 1, 2 kick step or 1, 2, 3 kick. Again, her styling was to kick. So when we do that, followers, if you have the 1, 2, 3 as a whole, but she'd add a little accent in there. Boom. So she might have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So she'd kick that foot out there, right? She'd get that little flick in there on the 3 with her foot if she chose to kick there. And then on the 7, she again would bring her foot up a little bit higher. So if I do that from behind, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, at this position, you could either lift high, again, like the kick around, but sometimes you don't have time to do that. So sometimes she would just do a little lift behind. Sometimes she'd tap that foot behind, 7, and accent that hit and bring it back on 8. And then the right foot, again, we could either have 1, 2, 3, kick it out and give it a real good accent, or just give it a little flick, or maybe a little hit on the floor. There's a lot of different things that you can do with that accent on 3 and 7. And so again, she said the rhythm is either 1, 2, kick, step, or 1, 2, 3, kick. And again, that could be either with your right foot, 1, 2, kick, step, or 1, 2, 3, kick, right? So it all depends on the rhythmic choice the leader might be making, or the choices that you want to make. So with the Ann Mills, like favorite styling or footwork, put something in, accent that footwork on 3 and 7. You have the opportunity to kick or lift, or if a leader is leading you in a repetitive, like single step pattern, bring those heels up high. Do a high kick around. Let's see, there's a question out there. A flick hopefully doesn't get the lead in the shin. Okay, so good safety question. Now, when you do get connected in Balboa, poof, I'm going to lead for a second. When I lead, I nestle my partner in, and our feet are always offset. I don't know, I mean, I think it's pretty bad technique if you're absolutely square to someone, and if I'm like chest to chest, square, knees are in line, hips are in line, yeah, if I flick, I'm going to kick that person right in the shin. But when we're offset, if the follower is nestled into my right arm, it has my left leg, then the follower's right leg, then my right leg, and the follower's left leg is on the outside. So now I'm going to turn around. So this is me on the leader standpoint. If I'm following, now my right leg should be in between the feet. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3. So when I do that 3, it should flick right in between, or if you're opened up slightly, then possibly you can get that on the outside of the foot. But again, you just got to kind of feel where that connection point is. All right, so you're going to see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, especially that left foot. If you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So remember, Ann said there were 2 basics: 1, 2, kick, step, or 1, 2, 3, kick. So if you choose as a follower to go 1, 2, 3, kick, this left foot, remember, is on the outside of the leader when they're nestled in, right? So you got to find those places where everything's going to make sense for your footwork. Okay, let's get into the lolly pattern, okay? So remember, in your basics, get a nice little kick high or a flick. You can hit the floor, kick it out, accent that flick into the floor. You can do that with your right foot, your left foot. If you're behind, you can tap it, you can lift it high, right foot or left foot, be ambidextrous. Okay, now, normally on the pattern of lollies that we teach today, we normally teach the kick, step, tap, step, rhythm. That's pretty much everybody does that same rhythm, at least to start out. Remember, Ann said she didn't like the kick. So rather than doing kick, step, touch, step, she would go triple step, triple step. So kick, step, touch, step, kick, step, touch, step, triple step, triple step, triple step, triple step. And as you have that nice weight forward on the balls of your feet, leaders, if you've never worn heels before, I highly recommend you do it. You can feel where the weight goes right into the perfect spot to dance into the ball of your foot. So as, maybe turn around and do that. So as I'm doing the kick, step, tap, step that I would normally do, I'm pivoting in the ball of my foot as I'm doing that basic pattern, but if I'm going to triple with it, I'm going to triple step, triple step, triple step, pivot, triple step, pivot, triple step, pivot, triple step, shakati, shakati, and that way I get nice hip rotation into the triple steps, rather than just standing and going triple step, triple step, triple step. Now the leader might be leading those hips out and in, but if you're just focusing on the steps and kind of fighting that movement, the normal lolly pattern has this kind of like kick out, tap in, kick out, tap in kind of feel. And so I'm going to keep with that lead, but adding a triple step, pivot, triple step, pivot, triple step, pivot, triple step. And I'm feeling the leader lead my back in the a kick, step, touch, step, kick, step. So you can see how the rhythm of the basic fits with the triple, a kick, step, tap, step, a kick, step, tap, step. So then again, one of Anne's favorites was to eliminate the kicks. Yeah, eliminate the kick and put in a triple step rhythm on the lollies. Woo! Okay, now one thing that she didn't talk about, but from watching the clips and I can't remember where we were. We had like a little mini private lesson with her, and she gave us a rhythm on we used to call them crossovers back in the day. We used to do what we call a transition. These are all ancient moves right now for all you Balboa aficionados. We used to do this thing called a transition step and then crossovers. And Anne would do this cool little footwork that I want to share with you on the crossovers in particular, as far as another favorite step. Oh my gosh, I am looking at our time. Oh, I would love to get to, I think next week I might continue Ann Mills' wisdom. If well, let's see how fast I can get through this footwork, and we'll get to more Ann clips. Okay, so I'm going to do this from the back. So here we are. So again, I'm going to show you an Ann Mills styling on a crossover, what we call them now as out and ins. And leaders, you can do this as well, so don't stress. So normally for a follower, let's say we're going to be forward on the right foot. Normally a basic pattern is going to be out and in, back, together, forward, however you want to call out this movement, right? Step, step, forward, gather, back, together, forward, gather, out and in, whatever you want to call it. This is the basic rhythm. So followers are typically going right, gather, left, right, gather. It's not a difficult step. It's just, I'm going to move this down so the Facebook land can really see my feet on this one. Okay, so here we are. I think Instagram is okay. So now, remember, when you get into this position, right foot forward, basic pattern, simple 3 steps and gather, simple 3 steps and gather. Now here's the rhythm I'm going to give you. Instead of back, together, forward, it's going to be back, cross, kick, cross, back, together, forward. Check it out. I'm going to do one basic. Basic is back, together, forward, back, together, forward. And Mills, back, cross, kick, cross, back, together, forward. And now I'm right back where I started. Watch again. Basic, back, together, forward, gather, back, together, forward. And Mills, back, cross, kick, cross, back, together, forward. Now again, what I love about this is she keeps emphasizing she'd like to kick high, or maybe not so much kick high, but have some emphasis on those kicks. Get it out there, right? Make sure people can see it. So if I do it slowly, back, cross, so that has a pretty look to it. Now here's the kick. Get this out there. Kick, cross, back, together, forward. Now that is going to fit in the rhythm of back, together, forward, back, together, forward. So as the leader is leading the basic pattern, you can put this in, followers, anytime. So watch. I'm going to keep saying back, together, forward, but I'm going to do Ann Mills footwork after one basic. So I go back, together, forward, back, together, forward, back, together, forward, back, together, forward. You can see I sync right up after I do that little Ann Mills back cross, kick cross. Now what it does for the followers, if I start this pattern on the right foot, so my right foot is here, and now I'm stepping back onto my left. Basic would be left, right, left, right, left, right. Now, if I start with my weight forward on my right foot and I do Ann Mills, I have back, cross, kick, cross, then back, together, forward. I get right back where I started. So you're really kind of eliminating that left side back, together, forward with the kicking and the crossing. Now I bring that up because, again, we want to be ambidextrous. So I don't want you to think that it can only be done off the right foot. So watch again. If I go back, together, forward. My weight is on the right. I think back, cross, kick, cross, back, together, forward, and I'm right back to the basic. Now watch closely. I'm going to do one half of a basic right there. Now my left foot is forward, right? And now I can do the same thing. If I start and mills here, it's going to start with the right foot back. And I'm going to go back, cross, kick, cross, back, together, forward. And I'm back to the left foot. So again, followers, you want to practice on both sides. So now I'm going to start on my left foot forward. I'm going to do one basic back and forth, getting back to the left, and mills off the left foot. So I do back, together, forward, basic, back, together, forward, basic, back, cross, kick, cross, so back, together, forward, boom. I'm back to the left, basic, and mills, back, cross, kick, cross, back, together, forward, boom, and back to the basic. So the way you can practice this at home is to start doing the back and forth, right? Do the basic, back, together, forward, back, together, forward. You definitely feel a distinct right foot and a left foot. So when your right foot's forward, think and mills. Back, cross, kick, cross, back, together, forward. You end right back there. So then just do one half, back, together, forward. Boop. Now your weight is on the other side. Think and mills. Back, cross, kick, cross, back, together, forward. Right? So if you want to be going back and forth, trying to be ambidextrous, right foot and mills, left foot and mills, just remember to put in one little half of a basic in between. So watch. I'm going to put it all together now. Here we are. So my right foot is forward. I'm going to do a basic. Back, together, forward. Now I do and mills. Back, cross, kick, cross. And now I'm here. I do half of a basic. Back, cross, kick, cross, other side and mills. Boom. And now I'm back to a full basic. Now, let's do that from the front, the same thing. So hopefully you're following me. So I'm going to start with my right foot forward, and I'm going to do a basic, a back, together, forward, gather, back, together, forward, and mills, back, cross, kick, cross, back, together, forward, half of a basic, other side, back, cross, kick, cross, back, together, forward, back to the basic. Now I'm right back to the basic pattern. But remember, if you just want to practice it on the right side, you're going to go back, cross, kick, cross, back, together, forward, do a full basic. Again, right side, a back, across, a kick, across, a back, together, forward, full basic, and back into the right. So you just keep repeating and work that one side. Okay, now I've got that side perfect. Put your left foot forward. Now you do a basic. Here's a basic, and now and mills, back, cross, kick, cross, back, together, forward, basic, back to the left side, I do it again, back, cross, kick, cross, so back, together, forward, basic, and I'm back on my left foot. So you can go back, watch it again, see how I do it on the right side and the left side. And again, this is one of Anne's, if you go and watch her footwork, you're going to see her, even at fast tempo, she's like, pop, 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 back, cross, kick, cross, and you see that nice flick, you see that kick get in there, that kick high, that accent, get that in there. She always, listen to the, I put a post of Ann Mills talks out on the YouTubes. Look up Ann Mills Balboa Follower Festival. She does a whole talk and talks to the followers about if you want to do something, get it in there, right? So again, I covered 1/5 of the knowledge that she passed on to me with all this stuff. And that was just her steps. So I think next week I'm going to continue Ann Mills version 2. We're already at 35 minutes. I'm trying to keep these about 30 minutes. I mean, doing this stuff for free, but please donate if you can, if this gave you any knowledge or joy this evening. And I think next week I'll get into Ann Mills' wisdom, because if I started it now, we'd be here for another hour. I'm going to give it another listen and really get my notes solid to condense it down to 30 minutes of Ann Mills' wisdom. So tonight I'm going to go in and I'm going to change the topic, Ann Mills' favorite footwork and steps. So remember, kick high. In particular, look for her and Harry Berlin for a move called the kick around, where she really lifts her heels up behind her repeatedly. Besides that, get a kick on a throw out or a toss out or whatever you want to call it. Extend that leg, get a nice kick in there, kick it low, kick it high, bring the knee up, try a stop, right? Purposely don't let your hips go all the way out. Try stopping, giving your partner a look, give them a little like, I'm taking control for a second, bring me back in when you want, but I might want to do a little something out here. So feel free to kind of add a stop in there. The leg up, the kick around, the stop, the lolly without the kick. So instead of kick, step, touch, step, triple step, triple step, triple step, triple step. Those are kind of some of her signature moves. And then I passed on Ann Mills' crossover footwork. Instead of back together forward, back together forward, we have back cross kick cross back together forward, doing that on your right foot or your left foot. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed Ann Mills' favorite footwork versus Ann Mills' wisdom. Maybe next week we'll go there. But again, if this brought you any joy, please donate. Anybody that donates $10 or more, we will send you a 50% off the Balboa Follower Festival DVD. That was way back in 2007. We were trying really hard to get the followers more love in the dance, and I think we accomplished that big time. So that was ancient Balboa history in 2007, but a beautiful talk by Ann. Great instruction on the DVD, so check that out. Donate anything you can so I can keep doing these. Once again, Joel's College of Swing Era Knowledge, Monday night jazz, Tuesday night Charleston, Wednesday night Lindy Hop and Jitterbug, Thursday evening swing here in Spokane, Friday shag, Saturday Balboa and BAL-SWING, and Sunday a talk for teachers and organizers. Oh man, people were at the Balboa Follower Festival checking in. Yes, those were great times. And let's give a shout out to the shoes of choice. I should have checked this before, but I've got my Remix dance shoes on. Luckily, Jackie and I have the same shoe size. Either I have small feet or she has small feet. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, College of Swing Era Knowledge, night night. Crazy about you.